Hey guys, Paul Argueta. Today is for all of my real estate agents. I'm going to give you 3 reasons you need to subscribe and pay for a lead generation company. Thanks for visiting our channel. Please make sure that you subscribe so that you can have access to all of the videos and content that we are creating and curating for you. In addition to that, also make sure that you click on the bell icon right next to the subscribe button so that way, the minute that new content is uploaded, you're immediately notified and you'll have access to it right away. I don't want to start today's video being a negative Nancy. Notice how I said that, smiling. I don't want to start today's video being a negative Nancy, but most businesses will fail. In fact, over 50% of the businesses that people start will fail typically within their first 2 years. Okay? 80 to 90% of all businesses will fail within their first 5 years if they've gotten past the 2-year mark. Why do most of these businesses fail? Most of these businesses fail because they don't have enough customers coming through the doors. They don't have enough clients. The reason that I see most people fail in our profession, in our industry as real estate practitioners, is because they don't have enough clients. They need to learn how to generate leads. Now, I am going to tell you that you will still need to master the art of negotiations. They will still need to learn how to do contracts. They will still need to learn how to their scripts. These are all things that you have to learn on your way to being a good real estate practitioner, right? But without customers, knowing your scripts, knowing your contracts, knowing all of that stuff, and knowing how to negotiate is really irrelevant until you have clients. To combat this, I am going to tell you that the first thing that you should do as a brand new agent or as a veteran agent, if you don't have any business right now, if you don't have any escrows right now, then you need to subscribe and pay for a lead generation company. Now, we did a vlog on which are the top 6 best lead generation companies and a video, and it should pop up, the link should pop up on this video so that you can go back and review it. I'm not gonna recommend any companies on this video, but I am gonna tell you that you need to subscribe and pay for one, especially if you have absolutely zero production. And I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why you need to do this, okay? Number 1, it will create success for you faster. Okay, now here's the deal. You can get your license, you can get on the phone, and you can start prospecting. I've done it, I became proficient at it, I knew my scripts, I knew how to do it, right? And the reality is you're still about 4 to 6 months away, and that's if you find a good lead and you're following up tenaciously, okay? So you're still about 4 to 6 months away from actually generating a commission check if you go out there and you start cold calling. And I'm not saying not to do that. I'm saying that you still need to make sure that that is a part of your arsenal when it comes to active marketing. You're gonna need to learn how to cold call. You're gonna need to learn how to follow up. You're gonna need to learn how to get a hold of those clients. That's all part of something that you will need to learn. But I want to speed up the process. As an agent, I want you to have success much, much faster. And the best way to do that is to let a lead generation company do it for you, right? They've already spent the money on Facebook ads. They've already spent the money on TV spots. They've already spent the money for commercials. They already spent the money on pay-per-click. They've already invested all this time, right, mastering the right ads so that you don't have to do it. Now, for those of you who know me, you know that I am very bullish on SEO and on digital marketing. That is something that I took the time to really, really study and learn. And even then, that still took me about 3 to 5 years to master. And if I could condense that down and teach someone how to do it, it would still take them at least 3 to 4 months to learn it, and then another 3 to 4 months to get ranked. So the truth is, I am suggesting that you subscribe to a lead generation company so that you could have clientele that you could work with immediately, right? If they've done the work for it, they know what ads work, and they know what funnels to use to get those leads in front of you, then why not take advantage of it? Take advantage of it now. Subscribe to these companies now so that you could have leads, so that you could work and you have some type of immediate success. In fact, I would venture to say that you'll have quicker success purchasing leads than you will have just hitting the phones, because there's still a learning curve. Now, there are going to be some of you that are going to say, well, Paul, I'm brand new. I just got my real estate license. How can you expect me to go out there and buy leads? I won't know what to say, and I won't know what to do, and I won't know how to handle it, and I won't be prepared for this business. Listen, there will never be the right time for you to have too many clients. You're going to have to figure this out as you go, and for most of you, you're probably going to have other agents around you, mentors, brokers, veteran agents that are going to be able to help you. If you having too many leads and too many problems that's actually a good problem that most real estate agents don't have. I would rather you have a problem of too many leads than not having enough for now. Okay? So again, the first reason that I want you to subscribe and pay for a lead generation company is because it will create success for you much quicker than the traditional route of picking up the phone and calling people and dealing with your sphere of influence. I'm not saying that stuff doesn't work. I want you to do that stuff. I encourage you to do that stuff. You need to do that stuff. But if you want to add some NOS, some nitrous oxide, some gasoline, right, some rocket fuel to your business, then you need to make sure that you subscribe to a lead generation company day one. The second reason that I want you to subscribe and pay for a lead generation company is so that you can invest in your business. All right? I can't tell you the number of times that people get in the real estate business, the real estate profession, and they treat it like a hobby. If you treat this profession like a hobby, it will reward you and pay you like a hobby. You want to treat this like a business. And in most businesses, when you start a business, you invest a lot of money up front. Because the barriers of entry into real estate are much, much lower and easier to get into, people aren't accustomed to having to invest a lot of money in their business. I mean, the reality is they probably spent maybe $1,500 to $2,000 just to get started. And I'm talking about your real estate course, your state and licensing fees, your fingerprinting fees, some open house signs, maybe your MLS dues. You have to get used to the idea that this is a business and you need to invest in this business just like any other business. Whereas most real estate agents, what they try to do is they try to cut corners. They try to spend as little as possible in their business, and guess what? The business respects you back the exact same way. Invest in your business. Invest in yourself. The traditional brick and mortar business is going to require hundreds of thousands of dollars up front, perhaps even millions of dollars before those business owners ever see a dollar of return. Okay? I'm not asking you to do that. All I'm saying is you need to set aside some money so that you could invest in your business and build it. Now, for those of you who have part-time jobs, you have no excuse. You've got a job that can contribute to this, right? I know what it's like when things are tough. I know what it's like when things are rough. You're going to have to forgive me because I don't have any sympathy for someone who comes to me and says, well, I really don't have the money. Are you kidding me? Listen, I remember what it was like being in my early 20s and having to scrounge for gas, being married with 2 children, okay? Having one of our trucks repossessed and having the only thing that I had as a indication of any success was a 2-seater SLK Mercedes-Benz that I used to drive. Me, my wife, my 2 kids at the bottom of the car, and a small Chihuahua around town because we had no other car. I knew that I had to make things happen, and I was going to do what it took to make those things happen. So for those of you that want to tell me I really don't have the funds and I can't really invest in my business, that is not true. What you are really telling me then is that your profession and your success in this profession isn't important enough for you to invest in yourself. That's really all you're saying, okay? So make sure that you respect our profession, make sure that you treat this profession like a business, and start getting ready to invest in your business. Lining check, gut check, handkerchief check, sucking your gut check. All right, the third reason that you need to subscribe and pay for a lead generation service is because it increases the chances of you being in the business longer. As I mentioned earlier, most businesses will fail and most real estate agents will be out of the business within their first year. And part of the reason that they'll be out of this business is because they don't really have any success to breed additional success. By getting leads within your first 2 to 3 weeks, right, what that will do is it will create small success steps for you. And those clients to serve comes from having leads. I'd rather you get those leads earlier in your career as opposed to later in your career. And the longer it takes you to get those leads, the greater the chances of you being in and out of this profession before I even get to shake your hand. So, by you subscribing to these lead generation companies, it breeds success, right? These successes might be small. In other words, you've got a lead, you're excited about it. You go talk to that lead, right? You print out a CMA because they're asking for some type of an evaluation on their home, and you drive immediately to the house to bring them that CMA. You knock on the door, you talk to the client, right? The client says, well, I might be thinking about it, thanks for dropping it off. That's another small success step. As you continue to have these small success steps, what it does is it starts to build your confidence. Yes, it does cost money. Yes, it does take effort. Yes, it does take time. But I will tell you that as you keep building these small success steps, as opposed to some of the other active marketing techniques, really that just beat you down, right? And again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't cold call. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be proficient on the phone. I'm not saying that you shouldn't go door knocking. These are all things that eventually you're going to have to learn anyway, right? But as opposed to starting your career by immediately getting beaten down by all this rejection and all this no's, right, that you're going to hear anyway. This way you have some success that you can then refer to. And you know what? You close 1 or 2 deals in your first 60 to 90 days as a result of those leads. It just makes you more confident when you then have to go back and do all the other stuff, including the stuff that we really don't want to talk about, the stuff that we don't want to acknowledge, the cold calling, the door knocking, the open houses. All of that is a part of our profession, right? You know, those are all lead acquisition strategies that eventually we funnel all our leads into. This way, that immediate success will then help you stay in the business a lot longer. This video was kind of short. Some of you will listen to what I had to say. Some of you aren't going to listen to what I had to say. Either way, it's okay. At the end of the day, you are the CEO of your own business. You need to operate and act like the CEO of your own business. You need to take responsibility for your own business. The growth or the decline of your business all falls on your shoulders. And so all I'm trying to do is just give you another strategy to help you build your business so that you treat it like a business, so that it can reward you like a business, so that it can provide you the lifestyle that a real business can provide, as opposed to you just treating this like a hobby that you pick up every once in a while when you've got free time. As opposed to treating this like a hobby that you pick up every once in a while when you've got some free time to kill or some free time to spare. Treat it like a business, treat it like a profession, and it will reward you the exact same way. I can attest to this, and I'll tell you that our profession has plenty of people before me and plenty of people after me that will say the exact same thing. All right, listen, I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please make sure that you subscribe, okay? And don't forget to click on the bell icon so that you can receive notifications. All right, if you want to make some comments, please, by all means, do so. I appreciate the dialogue. I appreciate you making comments, liking this video, sharing this video with other people. You want to call me fat, you want to call me weird, whatever you want to call me, it's cool. I promise you that I respond to each and every one of those, all right? I look forward to hearing about your success, and we'll talk soon.